afternoon, class.
Good
Hello.
afternoon, teacher.
How are you today?
Fine.
Okay, you're feeling fine, happy?
Yes, fine.
So good. I have a question for you guys. How was your weekend?
It was good.
It was fine, and what about you, Alana?
It was fun.
And what do you do at your weekend? Why do you spend so much fun?
Uh,
Well, for me, last weekend I visited my grandmother, and I had a really fun time with her.
Okay. How you like to cook?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you?
I watch series.
Okay, you watch a series.
Netflix.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so you spend the whole your weekend?
Whole day watching series.
What a fun! I also like to spend my time looking at series. And what about you, Lana?
And I play volleyball with my friends.
Okay, so you're a very sporty person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I have one more question for you guys. Have you ever written a letter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And what about you, Michelle?
Well, when I was in primary school, my teacher did a little activity in which we needed to interchange letters with people from another primary school. So I used to write the kind of letters.
Well, but what a cool activity, right?
Santa Claus too.
Also to Santa Claus. Okay. Okay, such a good thing that you have write a letter already. I have another question for you. If you needed to write a letter, to whom this letter will be written? So, if you needed to write a letter, who you will send this letter to? Can you tell me, Michelle?
I don't know. I think it depends on what I need to require.
Okay, let's think that you just want to talk about with someone about your last vacations or something.
Well, actually, my grandmother lives kind of far from where I live, so I will write her a letter telling her about my day or something.
Oh, what a nice thing. And what about you, Robin?
Maybe to a friend.
To a friend?
Yes.
Okay, and you too? Well, in my case, I will write a letter for my niece. She lives in Veracruz. Her name, I will write a letter to my niece. Her name is Denise. And where is she? So in this case, we have the Michelle will write a letter to who? Do you remember?
Michelle to her mom.
Her grandmother.
Her grandmother, yes, that's right. To her grandmother. And Michelle, do you remember who Alondra wants to write?
To her friend.
Okay, yes, to a friend. And Alondra, do you remember who Gabriel wants to talk about?
Yes. Her friend.
To a friend too, that's right.
Huh?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
To an unknown friend. And you too, because you didn't specify. Okay, that was such a good thing. It's good to see that you still have memory, guys. Now, let's look at can you give me a piece of paper, please? See. Here we have it. Okay, so let's take a second to read this letter. Here we have a letter. Michelle, can you start reading, please? Oh, well, let's give you 3 minutes so you can read it, and then we will read it aloud. Everyone's gonna participate.
Okay.
So, take a second. tell me when you're ready. You have finished. Okay, now let's start with Michelle, please.
Dear Sabrina, thanks for your letter, and it was great to hear from you. You asked me to tell you about my favorite day of the week. Well, it's definitely Friday. One reason I like Fridays is because I have my favorite subjects at school, PE and chemistry.
Okay, right there. Alana, can you continue?
To me, it's great because we do experiments.
Chemistry,
Chemistry is great because we do experiments in the
science.
science lab, and our teacher, Mr. Khan, is so funny in PE. We usually play basketball, which is my favorite sport. I'm good at it because I'm quite tall. Our team usually wins. We also have French on Saturdays, which is actually my least favorite subject. But after that, we have ACT, which is much more interesting.
Okay, thank you. Now, Gabriel, can you finish?
At the moment, I'm creating a web page for our basketball team. After school, I hang out with my friends. And then in the evening, I play football at the sports center. On Friday nights, we sometimes go to someone's house for a party or to watch a DVD. We can relax a bit on Friday evening because there's no school on Saturday. Tell me about your favorite day in your next letter. How to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very nice. Thank you, Gabriel, for finishing the letter. I'm sorry if you couldn't understand much of it. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how can we write a letter. Like in this case, we normally use one tense that it's called the present perfect. So today we will talk about the present perfect, and well, you can see. So who can tell me what do you think we can use present perfect for letters? What do you think? Well, Oliver, can you tell me one thing? Well, let's imagine you will write a letter. What would you write?
In some things that I in the past.
That you have done in the past. In this case, well, I will give you the answers. You can use it for writing life experiences. Like you mentioned, that can happen at the past or can be happening, like for example, you each year since you were 5, you have gone to Bacalar each Semana Santa, let's say. Each Holy Week, I'm sorry. So I have been to Paris, for example, once in your lifetime. So once in your lifetime, you have been in Paris. You don't specify the time. You just say like Then you can also use it for recent actions that will also happen in the present or that will conclude at the present. Like its result will happen like maybe in a week or now, or for example, the last day I fall and now I have a scar. That's something that happened at the past, but nowadays I have a result of that. And also, we can talk about actions that started in the past, but it continues to now. As I mentioned in my first example, I'm sorry I missed, but something that you do, for example, each year, like in my family, we cook pibipollos each October since 2010. So that's something that keeps happening, but it started at the past, and nowadays you continue doing this activity. Okay? Now, I would like to show you a bit more about this present perfect. In this case, we use it to talk about past actions that have a connection to the present, as we mentioned. We have three forms to use it. In this case, we have affirmative, which is when you talk normally, let's say, when you talk in a positive way. For example, for this one, you will have the subject, then you will need to use have or has depending on the subject. Do you know what could this depend on?
If it's a third person,
Yes, that's right. If it's a third person, it would need to be has. For example,
He,
she, he, and it. I'm sorry. And it. And for these ones, it's I, you, we, they, all of the else, and these three just for has. Okay, so after that, we will have a verb in past participle. Do you know what the past participle is? For example, when you see a verb, you see it in present, in past, and in past participle. So remember, each time that you have learned a verb, you see three both and both exactly this. Like this is the third line, like present, past, and past participle. Remember. So if you have your list of verbs, please check the third line, the third column, the third list of verbs. So in this case, this is affirmative. As you see, we have and has. But then if we change it to negative, what it changes is that we add a no. In this case, you can add this no like have not or has not. But in this case, you can also do a contraction and you can write hasn't or haven't. In this case, omitting the O and placing the apostrophe. Okay? And now, finally but not least, we have how to interrogate someone using the past perfect. In this case, it's how to make questions, it's how to ask about someone. In this case, you can use them, maybe you can hear them when you're doing an interview, when you're meeting a new person, even when you're talking online. If you're meeting someone new, you can ask questions. And this is the right sentence for asking maybe if they celebrate Christmas, like if they have been celebrating Christmas, dependent. Look, have you been? Yeah, then you can continue with celebrating Christmas. Here we have another two questions, like have you ever traveled abroad? Do you know what travel abroad means?
Like traveling outside the country.
That's right, traveling outside the country. And the second one that we have is, has she called her friend? Okay, a ver, let me see. Gabriel, can you think in another one?
question.
And another question. Using this structure, the past perfect.
Have you ever been to Europe?
Have you ever been to Europe, right? Okay, so do you notice that Gabriel added an ever, right? In this case, look, here we have it in here too. This is for when you are asking if you use the present simple, for example, also when you ask about a movie. It's something that the person, since the movie came out or since Europe exists, since they have been alive, if they have once in their lifetime gone to Europe or since the movie release, have they ever seen it? Like, that's the question. This is a really important phrase to use because here you have like, it's something that a native speaker would say. Okay, now let's continue. Oh, here we have it. Here we have some common time expressions that you can use. As I mentioned before, ever is something that you can use when doing these questions or even when talking, when using the affirmative of the negative. Like ever or never, which means never, the both of them. Just, here we have an example. I've just arrived. Already, she has already eaten. Yet, they haven't called yet. Since or for. I've lived here since 2010 and she has worked here for 5 years. Okay, so take notes of these expressions. And also we have, okay guys, we also have here how to write a letter. We have, as you have seen in the letter before, we have a greeting, which is when you say hi to the person, like, hello. If you know the name, you can write the name. Like, hello, Mrs. Velasco. Now that you will talk to her. And then you will write the first paragraph, which will include a reason why you will write to her, like the reason why you're writing and what you want to accomplish at the letter. Then you will have the second paragraph in which you will develop your first idea. And then if you wanted to add, you can have a third paragraph if it's an informal letter. If it's a formal letter, you will need to add it. And this paragraph, well, here you will continue developing the idea. Then you will have a conclusion, like, it was a pleasure to talk to you, it was a pleasure to receive your letter, have a good one, love, and then you will write, you will have your signature, that is your name. That's all the concluding part. Then, okay. Okay. Now I have some exercise for you. I have this exercise. Okay. Let me place it upside down. Please wait. Here we have this exercise. You will need to fix this letter. You will need to fix it to the correct way. So now, ready, set, start. Let's organize it. Vamos a hacer que ya tenemos. Okay. Are you ready? Let's check
Yes,
the
teacher.
correct. Okay, now let's check the correct way. First, we have, in this case, remember guys that the letters and emails are reading the same. So in this case, if you want to place an email, you will only need to add the subject before your greeting. As in this example. In this case, you will have the subject that is setting in New York City, in New City. Then we will have the greeting that is hi Alex, and then it will be continue with the first paragraph or part of it, which is I hope you're doing great. Or this can be part of the greeting or the salutation, depending however you want to tell it. It's I hope you're doing great. I wanted to write to tell you I've been up to since I moved out to the new city. Then we have the first paragraph that it's why this person is writing. It's been a few crazy days. I finally starting to feel at home. I've already unpacked most of the stuff. I have arranged my house just the way I like it. I've also explored the neighborhood a bit and have fun. A couple of really cool cafes at a nice park nearby. Since arriving, I've met few people in the building and everyone has been super friendly. I've even joined a local gym. Here we are in the second paragraph already. I've been in a local gym and I've been 3 times this week. It's helped me feel more stable and active. Then we have the third paragraph. I haven't started classes yet, but I've received all my materials since I have spoke with few of my professors by email. They've been helpful and seem really welcoming. Then we have the conclusion. They say goodbye. It's anyway. I just wanted to share a bit about what's been going on. Let me know about everything on your end. I've missed you, your hangouts. Then it's signature. Thank you. Talk soon, Leo. Okay. Everyone has corrected, I see. Now let's move to the next one. Now it's your turn to create a letter. We will use all the information seen to create a letter for the person that you want. In this letter, you will need to talk about the last going out. Do you know what going out is? It is the last time that you spend time outside. For example, you went to the cinema, you went to the park, you went to do a walk, even to walk the dog. If you need to talk about the last time that you went out, and use at least 3 sentences in present perfect. So, se supone que vamos a hacerlo, pero no lo vamos a hacer porque ya se tiene que ir. And now, as a homework, you will need to exchange letters with your classmates. You will need to interchange your letters in names at your home. You'll answer the same structure that you have learned today. You will need to qualify if they follow the structure mentioned today, and if you can even point at the structure or point at the additional phrases that they use. So that's all for today, class. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.